And our guest for this segment is Jennifer Loren. Jennifer is creator and host of the Emmy award-winning program Osiyo, Voices of the Cherokee People. Welcome to you, kiddo.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. It's good to be here.
How are things?
Things are busy. We're very busy. Things are good. I can't complain.
What we're talking about here, without saying it, is the new film office that the Cherokee Nation is about to embrace. And this is going to be big-time stuff.
It really already is. I mean, we rolled it out. We just announced it a few weeks ago, and the response has been overwhelming. Yeah. We are very busy already. We have our plate more than full. And so I think it's really exciting. Can't believe it's finally happening. It's really exciting. And I think there's going to be a lot of really neat stuff to come from this.
Who else is involved in it with you?
So Amanda Clinton is the Vice President of Communications for Cherokee Nation businesses, and she and I have been working on this behind the scenes for a year or more, and then realized that we really could do something with this. So she kind of has taken it and run with it. And then we ended up hiring a third person to come on board to be our film office liaison. So she's kind of boots on the ground. She's already working with filmmakers every day, trying to bring them to Oklahoma. We're partnering very closely with the Oklahoma Film Office, and they have been really great partners, and we are excited about working with them in the future, and also the Tulsa Film and Music Office as well.
You know, I can see all kinds of things popping out about this. I mean, it's not beyond the realm of possibility to suppose that you'll eventually have a Cherokee Nation Film Festival.
It is not an impossibility at all, actually. That is in our long-term goals. From the very beginning, it has been, yeah. People ask us about that. There are other film festivals, native film festivals, and us doing Osiyo, Voices of the Cherokee People, being in that industry. We're also starting to do feature-length documentaries as well. We're around people all the time, and that's a question we get all the time. Why doesn't Cherokee Nation have a film festival? So that's definitely one of our goals of the film office.
You know, aside from the documentation of what you're doing, which, by the way, your work is superior.
Thank you.
I got to tell you, I've seen several of the pieces, and they just knock my socks off.
Thank you. Well, I have a good team.
Well, you got some good brains going for you too, kid.
Thank you.
But the thing is, within the confines of the Cherokee Nation, there are endless stories to be told.
You nailed it. Endless. People ask me all the time, do you ever think you'll run out of stories? And I laugh because it's just impossible. We have so many stories. Cherokee Nation, we have, 350,000 Cherokee Nation citizens across the United States and the globe. And, every person has a story. And it's really, we look for those stories that are beautiful and engaging and will entertain people and that will make a difference. And we do not have a lack of those. They're everywhere.
Is it safe to assume then that you will have an intern program underway that will train young Cherokees on the art of filmmaking and documentary making?
That is one of our goals with the film office, is the educational element. We would like to hold workshops either with industry professionals that are here locally, or bring people in from Los Angeles or New York or wherever to hold workshops to teach Cherokee Nation citizens, but not just Cherokee Nation citizens, any Native citizens, and possibly, anybody in northeastern Oklahoma that wants to learn the craft. Because our goal, one of our goals with the film office, is to bring films to northeastern Oklahoma. We're going to help Oklahoma's film office to bring films to Oklahoma, but more specifically, our film office wants to bring them to the 14 counties of the Cherokee Nation. And so one of the things we can do with that is, in order to entice those filmmakers to come to the Cherokee Nation, we need to have crew here that can work on their films so that they don't have to pay their travel to come all the way from LA or New York or wherever to work on their films. We want to have trained people here.
When you get the chance to work with and guide young writers to be, young graphic artists, young editors, young photographers, and it just goes on and on, all of a sudden you've got an incredible talent pool to pull from.
Absolutely. And there's no lack of talented young Cherokees and people in northeastern Oklahoma. I mean, there's no reason we couldn't have a thriving film industry right here in the Cherokee Nation in northeastern Oklahoma.
Is it too early for you to comment on what some of the early projects would be?
No, not at all. We're already working as consultants. That was one of the immediate needs for a film office in Cherokee Nation, is that throughout our government, we have requests come in every day to various agencies, whoever they know to get on the phone with, and they'll say, I have a script, I want to make sure it's culturally accurate. They'll have a book that they're writing, they want to turn into a screenplay, they need some consultation. The immediate thing that the film office is doing already is consulting with those people to make sure that their script or their book is culturally appropriate.
When you mentioned the number of tribal members, it brought to mind something I've preached for years, that Oklahoma is one of those rare states where you can be on the interstate, hustle bustle interstate, going wherever, and off in the distance you see smoke. Now, most folk driving through this flyover state would say, oh, some farmer burning brush. Yet, given the incredibly high population, Indian population we have in Oklahoma, Cherokees and the other tribes as well, it could well be a ceremony that goes back 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years. People just don't realize what we have here.
That's right. And they have a lot of misconceptions about what we have here. And that's been one of the goals of our show, Osiyo, is to guide people in the right direction so they know who Cherokee people really are. But absolutely, Oklahoma, our culture and our history is second to none. And I think that we're really uniquely positioned where we can work here in this beautiful place, home for us in the Cherokee Nation, and work in the film industry, which many people move to Los Angeles and they have to live in Los Angeles, which is not very appealing to me.
Not very healthy.
or New York. And so I think that's what's great, is that we can do this right here at home. And I mean, we're a unique state. We have all of these eco-regions that other states don't have. We have a lot of locations that the film industry honestly doesn't know about, and we're helping to bring that to the film industry so that they can realize the gem that Oklahoma is and send and come here to use our locations and our people and make their films here.
Well, and that's very important. That is very important. But I'm also, and I'll go back to this if you'll bear with me, I'm so intrigued by the educational side of it, because you guys could change the playbooks of education very easily by documenting, as you well know, when the young ones come along, so many of the tribal members will tell you the language is dropping.
Right.
We're losing it.
Right.
And every time an old one dies, we lose so much in terms of the old ways. Mm-hmm. They'll never be back. Those won't be back again. Like, it just boggles the mind when you start to think about what you can capture at this point in time.
And we've already, with our show alone, we have already captured so many of those things. With our language, we have, there's one story that we did on an elder who taught us how to make knutshe the way that her family taught her. And we captured that entire process on film. And she passed away a few months later. And we have that. And her family played part of that at her service. And it's very special to not only the people in our nation to have that documented and in such a beautiful way, but also to have that for future generations and for people that have nothing to do with the Cherokee Nation, that will for the first time see actually the authentic way that Cherokee people live and what our authentic history is, not what Hollywood has portrayed in years past.
Jennifer, we've got about a minute and a half. Is there any way possible you might tease us a little bit about what to expect first?
First from the film office? Well, hopefully you're going to start seeing at the end of various productions. They could be films, they could be documentary films, maybe TV shows. You'll hopefully see in the credits Cherokee Nation Film Office at the end, because we have helped them to produce that product in some way. The biggest thing that we're excited about is the possibility of a soundstage right here in the Cherokee Nation.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Keep us up to speed, will you? Because we'd love to follow it.
Okay.
The job you guys are doing, especially you, I got to tell you, you're knocking it out of the park, kid.
Thank you. Thank
I'm
you
really
very
proud of
much. Thank you.
all you're doing. And
that
thank you
means
for
a lot
taking time.
coming from you, sir.
Yeah,
So thank you.
Tell Miss Clinton I'm sorry she couldn't be here. She's home with a flu or a cold or something.
A cold or something, yes.
Tell her to get well.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
All right, my child. We're going to come back with more to learn about drones right after this.